good sex, bad sex. A lot of ladies are never shy to describe how small a man's tool is, how the performance was not up to par. They're not shy to share with their friends how they prefer a certain size. Okay? So what it creates in a man is that a man must come to the table with something special. He must do something amazing so that she remembers him. Something that I've experienced here, right here, where I am in Zambia. Right now I'm on my farm. Young guys, 14, 15, 16, taking what they term sex pills. Inexpensive pills, very easily accessible. And of course, we can question about the availability of these things. But they're taking these things in the hope that they can, show the woman that they can perform. But the truth of the matter is, I think for the most part, in terms of the modern woman, and I'm talking about young ladies here, 16, 17, 18, because where I am is quite rural, and I cannot deny that these things are happening because I'm talking to these young guys. What's occurring now is that no matter what a man does, I'm expanding this beyond the African scope now to the West. Because women have multiple sex partners, and some of them are coming to the table with maybe drugs in their system. Some guys, when they smoke weed, they go crazy, they go wild on the girl. Some people are taking other substances. Some guys are just crazy. So if she's encountered all these people, okay, who are wild, crazy freaks, how are you going to satisfy the woman? And she has that recollection in her mind of how it felt. So now the standard and expectation on you is going out of the roof. Because how are you supposed to match? So back in the day, the virginity thing was a big thing. Okay? We can also accept that a low body count is preferred. But when people are more experimental these days, a lot of ladies watch porn as well, and a lot of ladies now have bought into the whole toys. Things that do what no man can do. There's rolls, there's big things that and it's become more common and acceptable. And because of the sexualization that occurs on Instagram or TikTok, it's acceptable. No man is going to meet that standard. So instead of the woman recognizing that maybe she's destroying her body part, what she's doing is not for the betterment of herself. She'll point out the man, you're not big enough. You're not creative enough. You don't last long enough. So a lot of guys are turning into these drugs, which they're not supposed to at the age that they are. So men are supposed to turn up and perform under impossible circumstances. And that's another thing that, you find guys who are about their purpose. They don't want to sleep with no woman because they know that even if I sleep with you, you're going to talk bad about me. Maybe because I got a job, so I'm not going to be there, working on it for an hour, for 2 hours. Grown men who are about that purpose are not going to be there working on a woman like that. Another thing, I was speaking to a cousin of mine here, in Zambia, and he mentioned something about, girls want 5 rounds. And I thought to myself, if you got work in the morning, and the next day you got work in the morning, who got time for 5 rounds? Now, it may sound very noble and very, like, oh, wow, what a man. But in reality, when you're about purpose in your life, you can't do that. So now the problem that I'm finding is that if most women are experimenting this way, that will mean most women will not be satisfied. So most women will not be pleasured. And what does a woman do when she's not satisfied with their performance? She'll seek elsewhere. And if that's not satisfactory, she'll seek elsewhere. That's why women have rosters. They have rosters because one person is not good enough. One person is not good enough is because they've gone so far down the rabbit hole of experimentation. They've gone so far down the rabbit hole of experimentation that one person will never be good enough. So the 304 lifestyle is what suits. Because if David is not doing it, I'll call Tom. Tom is not doing it, I'll call Derek. So what's happening now is that the modern day woman, the way she structures herself, it's not conducive for a relationship with men. Men, we are territorial. We want what we want. We want what we want, and we want it to be protected and sacred. Because if you want to invest it with your life and protection and being able to do whatever for that woman, you want to make sure that that woman is yours. But now we know that there's rosters and there's toys and you can compete and there's exes and everything else. And women are very verbal online about the size and the performance. So most men are just resigning themselves. All these young guys that I know here are taking sexual pills to try and perform for these young ladies because they already feel like they need to have that performance enhanced. Is there hope for the modern woman? Because if you're so far gone sexually, nobody gonna please you. Who's gonna please you when you being down, the machine is working on you? You got dudes that are crazy on weed because you want something different, and at some point you want a relationship or settle down.